Hare Krishna devotees, please accept my humble obeisance of Shri Prabhupada. Welcome devotees to today's Bhagavatam class. This morning we'll be continuing with Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 1, Chapter 17, verse 36. And the chapter is entitled The Punishment and Reward of Kali. We are in the section where Maharaj Parikshit is dealing with Kali and asking him to leave the kingdom. We're very happy to have His Holiness Candramauli Swami with us. Hare Krishna Maharaj, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to you and Srila Prabhupada.
Haribo, my obeisances. Happy to see you. Surprise.
I happen to not have service this morning, Maharaj, so Krishna's arrangement.
Yeah, from my good fortune.
Thank you, Maharaj.
And my obeisances to all the devotees. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Kale Uvachyam Yatra Kavyata Vatsami Sarvabhauma Tavagyaya Laksaye Tatra Tatrapi Tvam Mateshu Sarasanam. O your majesty, O your majesty, though I may live anywhere and everywhere under your order, I shall but see you with bow and arrow wherever I look. Purport: the personality of Kali could see that Maharaj Parikshit was the emperor of all lands all over the world, and thus anywhere he might live, he would have to meet with the same mood of the king. The personality of Kali was meant for mischief, and Maharaj Parikshit was meant for subduing all kinds of mischief mongers, especially the personality of Kali. It is better, therefore, for the personality of Kali to have been killed by the king then and there instead of being killed elsewhere. He was, after all, a surrendered soul before the king, and it was for the king to do what was required. Umagyantimirandasya Ganajana Salakaya Chaksun Militam Yena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha Sri Chaitanya Manobhistam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadammayam Dadati Swampadatī Kam Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prastaya Bhutale Srimakti Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pacharine Nirvisesa Sunyavadi Vastyatya Desatarine Vanchakalpa Tarubhischa Kripa Sindhupaye Bacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namaho Namaha Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaur Bhaktivinoda Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So, personality of color. The screen is a little different now.
Yes, Marge, I apologize. I'm trying to switch to my screen here. There we go. Perfect.
Yeah. Bring it down to where the purport was. Yeah. The personality of Kali has been identified as a mischief monger, and he's also causing to the personality of religion and the personality of earth. So the duty of the king is to punish the mischief mongers and drive them out. So this is what has happened here. This is a righteous king, one who lives by religious principles, who is a pure devotee of the Lord, who does not tolerate irreligion in the name of patronizing a person's existence. So Kali has to be removed. But Kali realizes that, wherever I go, I'm going to see you because you are everywhere, because this is your kingdom and there's no place anywhere outside that I could go. So he's making his point here that you're asking me to leave this place, but you're everywhere. So where do I really go? So he's kind of stuck. And of course, the solution will be given in the upcoming verses. But at the same time, we understand that this is the duty of a leader, is to make leader means to lead on behalf of the real leader. The real leader is God. And so one leads on behalf of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, takes the mercy of the Lord, and applies the principles that are according to their position of leadership, whether it's in the family, whether it's in the society, whether it's in the kingdom, whether it's in the schools. A leader, or one who is teaching and guiding others in a very significant way, has to be a representative of religious principles. Secular principles are not accepted because secular principles are based on the duality of loss and gain, based on the idea that material energy can give support to one's desires, which is not. No one can fulfill their desires in material life. So any kind of secular or organization is always fraught with so many difficulties. And the people are never satisfied in it anyway. And you see there's always a coming and going, both of the leaders and of the participants. But in a spiritual arrangement where their leadership is the representative of the Supreme Lord, he is called Rajarishi, then people are happy and they get everything they need. And if there's any kind of wrongdoing, that is corrected. Maharaj Parikshit, when he heard that Kali was in his kingdom, he didn't waste time. He didn't send out his messengers to find out. He jumped on his horse with his sword in hand and he was ready to challenge the mischief maker. And so, because if you understand a certain principle, then you understand how life works. If you allow some deviation to be part of something that is pure, the deviation will continue to increase and eventually overshadow something that is pure. Everything goes to its lowest denominator. For instance, to give another example, if you're sick and you've undergone some health remedies and you're getting cured, but you're not completely cured, you still have a little bit of the disease left. If you don't take care of that and remove that little bit, it can again grow back to a full-fledged disease. If you have fire and you're trying to put out the fire, if you leave some sparks of fire there, it can also again grow back into a blazing fire. If you have debts and you compound interest and you don't pay the interest will again bring back a larger debt. So the point is that as long as you allow something inauspicious to be part of something auspicious, that inauspiciousness will increase to. So that's why we've seen this many times, that we allow certain people to take part in Krishna consciousness within the temples, within the yatras. And they're not really interested in Krishna consciousness. They're interested in either causing some disruptions or fulfilling their own desires. And that just pollutes the whole environment. And then when other people come, they also become affected like that. And that attracts other people of the same quality. And then things start going down. So leaders have to be very diligent that whoever they're leading is up to the standard, and nothing less is allowed. Just like we say in our society, we allow anyone to practice Krishna consciousness. But you're not really a devotee until you chant 16 rounds and following the 4 regulative principles. Before then, you're practicing to become a devotee. But the foundation for becoming a Vaishnava or devotee is this bottom foundation, 16 rounds and 4 regulative principles. Before then, seeing your sincerity, we allow such persons to participate, thinking that they will eventually, or helping them come to the standard that is given. Otherwise, if they don't move forward, after some time they will move backward, or they might consider restructuring or making their own petitions on how they can also practice on a lower level. But that is not right practice, that's practicing to practice. That's what it really is, like that. So just like they say, if you have a pot of sweet rice and you put 1 drop of ink in the sweet rice, the whole thing is polluted. The sweet rice is very nice. It's got sugar, milk, cooked nicely with rice. It's called parm. It's the best of all milk products. But if you put 1 drop of ink or some sand in it, then you ruin the whole thing. So in the same way, purity has to be maintained when there is a large gathering of people according to a certain goal that is being given. Otherwise, those who are in a lesser position, they give them a chance to come up. But then again, if they don't, then they'll fall away. Or if they stay without coming up, they pollute the environment. And they start to set a lower standard. And then, as it says, everything gravitates down to the lowest common denominator. So that's very dangerous. So for temple presidents and devotees who are in leadership position, they're always in the process of bringing their followers to the standard of purity. Purity means following exactly according to how that exactness is given by the scriptures, by the protocol that is being followed. So here, Kali has no place, and doesn't say. He says, "What am I going to do? You're everywhere. You want me to leave, but where can I go?" So we can go to the next verse and see how it plays itself out again. This is verse number 37. Tanme dharma britam shrestaha stanam nirdestum arhasi yatra vaivo niyato vatsya atishtam ste nushashanam. Therefore, O chief among the protectors of religion, please fix some place for me where I can live permanently under the protection of your government. Purport: the personality of Kali addressed Maharaj Parikshit as the chief amongst the protectors of religiosity because the king refrained from killing a person who surrendered up to him. A surrendered soul should be given all protection, even though he may be an enemy. That is the principle of religion. And we could just imagine what sort of protection is given by the personality of Godhead to the person who surrenders unto him, not as an enemy, but as a devoted servitor. The Lord protects the surrendered souls from all sins and all resultant actions of sinful acts. But one has to give up their activities in order to surrender and get the protection. They cannot maintain. Well, here we have a situation where Kali is who he is. He's not going to change, but he wants a place. And that's what happens. He gets a place and then he spreads his poison everywhere. So again, the same principle is there. But here, just like you see even in criminal situations, if the criminal, the thief, whoever's committing the crime surrenders to the police, then the police, will stop trying to kill them, and then they will be taken and punished. But since they surrendered, and they're given some concession like that. So that's just normal. A person may do something wrong, but when they're caught, if they give up their wrongdoing and ask for protection from their chastiser, then that is usually done. As the Prabhupada says here, that is the principle of religion, to give protection for those who surrender. But a person cannot be surrendered on the outside and not surrendered on the inside. If that's there, then that will come out again. So therefore, those who are in a position of leadership should be very diligent to make sure that those who are given protection and allowed to have equal status again do not again commit the same activities like that. Well, that's and here it says even that the Lord himself gives protection to the surrendered soul. So that is the principle of bhakti. We may not be so qualified in the execution of bhakti, but if we're surrendered, we can become qualified. Surrender allows one to learn and to grow and to change, of course. And so that surrender has to be there. That's why Krishna makes that point in the Bhagavad Gita. If you surrender to me, hey, I'll give you protection. I'll give you everything you need in order to live nicely and practice the principles of religion. But you can't do it your way. In today's society, we find, or even within the society of devotees, we find people want to execute the process according to their own ideas. They usually add something to it, or take something away from it, or readjust it, or readjust what's there in a different way to be interpreted differently. So that's why Prabhupada told us, he said, before he left, he said, I've established something, so don't change it. Don't destroy it. Don't make it less. Try to maintain what I've given you. He said, even if you can't increase it, at least maintain it. That was concessional. So, yeah. And those who surrender, they're actually happy because then they put themselves under the protection of persons who can give them protection. And then they can learn, and they can grow, and they can also be happy under there. But nowadays, see, Kali teaches, the personality of Kali, his propaganda is don't follow any authority. This is Kali's main preaching program. Don't follow any authority. Be your own authority. You have you are number one. You are intelligent. You have much experience. Why should you listen to anyone? And you see that today. Just like people are trying to make new programs on how to do the same thing that's being done for years and years. Rather than take the standard way that works, they want to do it in a different way because they think, well, change is needed. But change is not needed. Change is just a flickering of the mind. When the mind gets accustomed to something, many times it wants to change it just for the sake of change. To call it something new or to call it something different. That's why Prabhupada, he was very strong. 16 rounds, 4 regulative principles, no less. there are people who have tried to chip away on the 4 regulative principles and make it 3, 3.5, and sometimes even 2. But probably no. If you want to practice Krishna consciousness, you can practice below the standard, but you're not considered to be up to the standard or a devotee until you come to 16 rounds for regulative principles. That is the bottom line. That is not changeable, not what we say adjustable. That is there. And that was Prabhupada's intelligence. He could see, because you'll find, when you study other religious principles or other religious traditions, you find they're always changing something. Just like I remember when I grew up as a Christian, and so the Christian thing was, because Christ was crucified on a Friday. This is the same weekend we're in, the Easter weekend. That Friday is called Good Friday. So they made a principle that no eating meat on Friday. So I remember as a kid, we could never eat meat on Friday, any Friday throughout the whole year. And then that was protested. And so now they made it no eating meat on Good Friday once a year. Because people felt it was too strict or too difficult to follow. So, but I remember as a kid, because I grew up in a Christian tradition, there was no meat eating on Friday. It was very strict. But now they do it once a year now. And some people don't even follow that. So that's an example of how, when the standard is set by the tradition, the initiators of the tradition, who are considered to be the leaders and the guides of how everyone should follow, as time goes on, people want to change and add and detract and like that. Just like Ekadasis now. They're stretching the rules on Ekadasi now to make them a little bit more easier for people to follow. But that's not Ekadasi. Ekadasi is what Prabhupada gave us, nothing less. And there's other things. So this is the tendency. It's just the nature of the mind to want to change things, do something different, or make spirituality something into something material, and no longer, because spirituality is 3 things: is knowledge, renunciation, and ultimately bhakti. So knowledge comes first. When we first join the Krishna conscious movement, we learn who is Krishna, who am I, what is my relationship to Krishna, and what is my duty in relationship to Krishna. That is called gyan, that is knowledge. When that becomes developed, then renunciation comes. And when people start to move away from material activities, and they start taking on philosophical principles that lead ultimately to bhakti. So gyan leads to renunciation, renunciation leads to bhakti, like that. But without that gyan, then there's no real renunciation. And without that renunciation, bhakti doesn't develop. And so that renunciation is given as principles according to the different ashrams. One follows like that, but it's generally across the board in the general sense. So we follow those 4 principles of knowledge: no illicit sex, no meat eating, no gambling, no intoxication. But they're even now being challenged by so-called devotees who want to protest the idea of certain aspects of each one of them. But Prabhupada's tradition is strong, it's solid. There's no leadway for change. Either you follow or you're below the standard. If you're below the standard, you're not up to the process of bhakti yet. Okay, so you can see how it works here. So Kali's smart. He's taking advantage of the kindness of Maharaj Parikshit, and he's looking for a way out. You're going to give me protection, but you're not giving me any place to stay. What am I going to do? So that'll come up in the next verses. Okay. You're on mute, Anasuya.
I'm sorry, Marge. Thank you, Marge, for such a wonderful class and really important points that you have mentioned. I would like to ask, I'm going to stop sharing, and I'm going to ask devotees if you can please turn on your videos wherever possible, if you can, and do ask questions. If you have any questions, any clarification, please do raise your hand and I'll call in the order. But again, if you can turn on your videos wherever you are, please do so. Marge, when you were speaking about Srila Prabhupada saying, don't reduce, maintain, if you can increase, then maintain. And that seemed to even be a struggle in today's times, Maharaj. Just even to maintain, they somehow, it always seems to be such a challenge. And I see that over a period of time is becoming more and more of a challenge to even maintain, what to speak of increase. Why is that a challenge, Maharaj?
Well, we have to maintain our own Krishna conscious practice. But Prabhupada was talking about the society that he established. That was his particular reference. I've given you so much. For instance, like Prabhupada said, don't sell temples. Don't sell temples. Sell books, but don't sell temples. So that was that big fight we had in New York. They got this big offer to sell the Brooklyn Temple. And they were ready to do it. $60 million they were going to get for that temple. But then the GBC stepped in along with others, and there was a big fight, and it turned into a gigantic court case. But somehow or other, the laws of New York were on our side, and that the head of the society can decide whether to do it or not. So we said no. And the opponents fought in court, but they had no position. In fact, the court case is still going on. They're trying, and from our side, we're through, but they're still trying to find some loopholes to take back that situation there. It was Bhakti Charusarami that saved the whole thing. He was like a lion. So yeah, that was a big fight. And there was other incidents too of temples that they wanted to sell, but Prabhupada was always against that. He said, once you establish a temple and worship, then that should go on. You can adjust things to make it better or to make it different, but you can't. These temples are like tirthas.
Thank you, Marge. Yes, Sri Devi Mataji, please go ahead.
Thank you, Guru Maharaj, for pointing out how wonderful is the process Srila Prabhupada has given us, and that keeping it pure is the one of the main duties of those who have inherited this legacy. My question goes to the recent, what to say, as you said, nowadays we pander to all kinds of elements in the society and allow them to, oh, so and so is a big donor. He's made such a big contribution, so he can come into the temple and he can take selfies with the deities with his back to the. I mean, all kinds of things we allow in the name of so and so is a big donor or so and so is a big shot and so on. I remember that when there was problems with the TOVP opening, Mother Malati, who's one of GBC's writing, and she said, as long as we keep protecting the child abusers and allowing them to infiltrate all the TOVP's procedures, TOVP will never open. She said that very categorically. So is that one of the reasons why some of our projects seem to be just, going on and on and on and on and never really seeing fruition or getting the blessings of the Lord?
I don't know. I don't know. To get into the intricacies of the society and what's happening is not my position here. I just stated one example to make a point that what Prabhupada said about selling temples. That was an obvious one. But I'm not going to investigate what's happening now. I have no intelligence, nor I have any, and I don't think it's a topic of discussion anyway, because who knows who's right and who's wrong. And it's an endless discussion. It's not something I'm going to talk about. Even if I had the knowledge, I wouldn't talk about it, but I don't have the knowledge. So
Thank you, Marge. Marge, in term, if anyone has a question, okay, there's one by Rishabhadas Prabhu, so let me read his question. Let me go up a little bit here. Hare Krishna, dear Gurudev and Vaishnavas, what is the Srila Prabhupada's standard for Ekadasi, and what is it now promoted in that regard?
well, that's an interesting question, because it was established that when one should not eat grains or beans on Ekadasi. That's the lowest possible standard. But Prabhupada, if you listen to it, he said, Ekadasi, a little milk, a little fruit. That's what he said. So although he gave the standard, no grains and beans, because he knew the Westerners couldn't perform such austerities. But in India, the principle of Ekadasi is no water. Every Ekadasi is Nirjal. Nirjal Ekadasi is Ekadasi. It's not just once a year. Every Ekadasi is meant to be Nirjal. That's the standard in the scriptures, but Prabhupada made that adjustment for the Western, devotees. So, but when he talks about it, he said, just little milk, little fruit. That's all.
Thank you much. Rishabharu, I hope that helped. I guess when we have some health problems, then we can adjust.
Right.
That's what he's saying.
But
Oh,
you have to be honest,
yeah.
and not just for the sake of excusing. Well, I feel a little bit sick, and therefore, no. It's a sincere devotee will always try to follow the standard that's given. That's a sincere devotee. An insincere devotee will look at the standard and try to apply certain considerations based on personal examples of health or feasibility, and then enter them into the standard. In other words, you always want to do what's right, what's given. That's a real devotee. But if you can't for some reason, then that is also considered. Just like we're supposed to chant 16 rounds every day. So Prabhupada said, if you can't finish for whatever reason, if you can't finish your 16 rounds, then whatever rounds remain, you make up the next day, not 2 days later or 5 days later, the next day. And then he also went on to say, but you can't finish your 16 rounds. You shouldn't be eating and sleeping until you do. So there's no excuse why you can't finish 16 rounds. You got 24 hours. But if for considerations of certain situations, all right, can't finish 16 rounds. All right, you have 2 left. You couldn't do it. It's 11 o'clock at night. You were out preaching or something. All right, so on the next day you chant 18 rounds, but not the day after or the day after, the next day. So that was another concession that Prabhupada gave. But sincerity is the principle and not simply compromise and taking advantage of certain standards of leniency just to make things easier for yourself. That's not a sincere devotee.
Thank you, Marge. Marge, if anyone has a question, please do raise your hand, because this is such an important topic, I think, where it reminds us to follow Srila Prabhupada's standard that he has set and not minimize it. Marge, speaking about sincerity and honesty that you were speaking about in terms of devotees following the standards that Srila Prabhupada has set with us, how can one, Maharaj, I'm trying to see how to phrase my question, because I've come across situations where even initiated devotees, they try to minimize the standards because they are still not ready to give up the attachments that they grew up with, and they mix it up as a khichdi in their devotional life. Is that maintaining the standards, Maharaj, or is that
No,
mixing it up?
you can't mix it up. You can mix it up with whatever you want to mix it up, but still remains mixed up. You have to learn the standard. That's why we have education. We have all of this knowledge. Prabhupada mentions in his book. For instance, Prabhupada says, don't take food cooked by non-devotees. That's in the Chaitanya Charitamrita. He said, it pollutes the mind. And he makes it hard for one to chant the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra when the mind becomes polluted by these things. The idea is to purify the mind. So take only prasadam, take food only cooked by devotees who are qualified to cook for the deities, like that. And if you're cooking at home, maintain a standard of cleanliness, offering time, everything with your own deities like that. Or get prasadam from the temples. But that's an example of keeping a certain standard that Prabhupada gave. He also said Brahmins can only cook for the deities, not first initiations. But we've changed that standard too.
Yes, we have, Marge. Quite a bit, actually, here, there, everywhere. Marge, can you, I've been asked this question before, and I'm still trying to figure out the right answer, Marge. Marge, what is the difference between truthfulness and honesty?
A person can be truthful from time to time, but if a person is honest, they're always truthful.
That's very deep, Marge. Okay.
Sometimes a person who is not honest may tell the truth sometimes, and other times not. The person who is honest will always keep that standard of truthfulness.
Wow. Okay. Thank you, Marge, for shedding light on that.
It's
That
just a,
was very
that's
deep.
just that's just an etymological definition. That's all.
Yeah, because I tried to read it up online and somehow it just didn't quite click. And I said, okay, I have to ask this question in a class at some point. So I'm glad I did. Okay. Thank you, Marsh, for shedding some light on that. That is definitely very, very deep. Wow. Any questions from devotees? This is really a powerful class about how to maintain what Srila Prabhupada has given us and not minimize it. How to really carry forward Prabhupada's legacy. Very, very important point. Because Marja, I get reminder of Prabhupada's points, when was one statement that Srila Prabhupada said that ISKCON will be broken from within and not from outside.
Yeah, they can't break it from outside. It's not possible. The more you try to break it from the outside, the stronger it gets. If you try to persecute a religion, you spread it. But if you go inside and become Kali Chela means disciple of Kali, one who is dressed like a devotee but has another motivation.
Very powerful points, Marge. Wow.
That's hard to detect sometimes.
Yes, yes, very hard to detect. One
That's
has to have experts. I'm sorry, Marge.
That's why we have to hear from Prabhupada's books all the time. We need to have these discussions on Prabhupada's philosophy, the books that are given, keeping Prabhupada in the center, his principles. We should also come together as smaller groups and read together, discuss, get some ideas on how things are being given to us, how they apply to us. Bodhiantas parasparam.
Thank you, Marge. Any questions from devotees, please do raise hand. This is a very powerful topic. If we have any question that we have that's floating in our minds that we want to get it clarified, please do. Yes, Sridevi, go ahead.
From Guru Maharaj's class, what I'm getting is that leadership is a very important and very responsible position, and the leadership or the leader himself or herself has to conduct themselves with a very high standard of behavior and following Prabhupada's directions. So, are we nurturing, training, educating leaders? Because we have classes, we have seminars, we have workshops, but where are the Kshatriyas? Where are the leaders emerging from all what we are doing and leading temples, projects in an exemplary manner?
That's happening. Like the GBC College. They choose people to train to become eventually GBC. I was giving classes to one group of GBC candidates. They travel around and they take knowledge from different places in ISKCON. But that's going on. There's training on many different levels. Yeah. training on how to become, yeah. We're trying to work on starting an academy, Kshatriya Academy in Mayapur for training Kshatriyas. That's a project that is now starting to formulate. It's a little, you might say it's a little late in terms of the time period, but it's happening now anyway. Once you get academy started, then you can then temples from around the country can send around the world can send some of their candidates for training. But that's there.
I have to say, Mars, that the GBC college training is very intense. Shri Devi, it's really intense.
Yeah, I was with the group when I was in Ujjain. They came to Ujjain this year in January, and they asked me to give classes to them. So I did. And then some of them were telling me later, boy, is it tough.
It's really tough. Yes, Maharaj. 2 weeks of residential and 1.5 years of courses and exams and tests, and then another residential. It's tough. You feel like you're doing a master's program.
It's good. No, toughness is
Yes. But
wonderful.
I have to admit, Marge, if it was not tough, we would not appreciate the seriousness of what Shri Prabhupada has given us and how to be the uh, torchlight for the future. I have to agree. It was tough, but it was in a very good way, in a very good way.
One of the programs that is really exemplary in our society, and I'll say which I would encourage everyone to take up, is the Mayapur Institute training program for Shastric development, such as the Bhakti Shastra, the Bhakti Vaibhava, the Bhakti Vedanta. Every year they start a 6 months program starting in October that lasts up to March. And you get to spend 6 months in the Dham. At the same time, you take courses on these Shastri courses. They're great. I was there this year for the graduation, and I also taught in December. I taught the second canto. So, yeah, this is good. And even all of the leaders who came for the graduation, there were many, were just glorifying the whole program. How important it was, how important, how much Prabhupada wanted it. He wanted the devotees to know this philosophy and be able to speak it also, not just, you know, well, someone asks you a question, you can't answer it, or you can't answer it properly. Or to give a class. Everyone should be able to give a class, at least in some circles of Vaishnav Sangha. That's important.
Thank you, Marge. Sakshi Mataji, please go ahead with your question.
Hare Krishna Maharaj, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Maharaj, you said that deviation overshadows the purity. And I had a recent experience with my leadership. They gave me an instruction, and due to my inability to understand and lack of surrender, I did not listen to them. But Maharaj, by not following that instruction, some really nice spiritual realizations comes in reality. And at the same time, I'm guilty because I hurted people, the seniors. But at the same time, I'm not guilty because some really nice realizations came up. So how do I take that, Maharaj?
What do you mean, nice realizations?
I met really nice devotees, and so many things happened, Maharaj. I got sincere in practicing my chanting, and I met some really nice devotees in between. So I am not guilty, but at the same time, I feel bad because I hurt many of the devotees. So yeah, I just want to know.
I don't know what to say to that one.
Sakshi Mataji, can you share what you just shared initially? Deviation. I missed that sentence, please. It's very powerful.
She tried for something and she didn't follow according to how she was following. But since she made an effort to try, she learned so many things within. Mhm. So it's taken the way it is. There's no explanation needed. That's all. But we could say if you were able to follow the way you could, it would have been much more successful on all levels.
And what I would like to share, Marge, is, for her to actually take it and got realizations to do better, it's commendable.
Yeah, that's good. The fact that she tried,
Yes.
because it's bhakti, bhakti is, if you make an effort, there is always some benefit from it. But if you perform it correctly, according to the directions given, then the benefit is maximized or full. There's so much. You get not only the knowledge, but you get the realization also.
Marge, there's a question here from Ekta. Hare Krishna, Marge, and all the devotees. Earlier in the class, you talked about surrender. I didn't catch it all, but something about how even if we are not up to the standard, if we surrender, then that will help us rise. Could you shed more on this, and what does surrender mean in this context?
It means you're willing to do whatever you can to come up to the to the standard. You're willing to make some sacrifice. You're not up to the standard, but you're trying. So if you surrender, then Krishna will give you the mercy in the form of guidance coming from the spiritual teachers. And surrender means you accept. It doesn't mean you continue to pick and choose according to how you want to. Surrender means I'm willing to follow you 100%. That's what a surrender means. Surrender means no other option. You follow, and you do your best to follow. And if there's a inability to learn how to follow, that's also given in the process, and you can learn also how to follow. Yeah, Arjun, he had all of his own ideas on why he couldn't fight. And then Krishna listened to him and told him he's a fool. But then Arjuna said, at one point, now I am a soul surrendered unto you. Please instruct me. So there were friendly talks going on between Krishna and Arjuna. But then Arjuna realized this friendly talk is not going to work. I have to become his disciple. Only when he became a disciple, then he was able to accept what Krishna was able to give him. When he had his own ideas, that blocked his ability to practice, to follow, and to gain some knowledge. Krishna allowed him to speak his own ideas just to show that his ideas were good from a material point of view, but from the spiritual point of view, it caused him not to surrender. He was dealing with the perfect person who knows everything. Similarly, we may have some ideas on how we want to surrender. We can present that to the spiritual master. But then the spiritual master makes the decision whether he's going to accept what you want to do or not want to do, or he's going to continue to give you his instructions. So it doesn't mean surrender doesn't mean stupidity. You just follow. It says blind following and absurd questions are contrary to spiritual life. Absurd inquiry and blind following are rejected. You have to know why you're following. What are you following? How to follow, and what's the goal that by following will become the success of your following. No blind following. If you follow blindly, after some time, you'll give it up anyway. Why do I chant 16 rounds? Why do I follow the 4 regulative principles? Why do I go to the temple? Why? The why question applies to all of the activities in devotional service. What are the benefits? Is it just following for the sake of following? No.
Very powerful points, Marge. Wow.
Doesn't mean we should not follow, but we should understand why am I following? There is a purpose behind it. The purpose is given.
Marge, that's a very powerful question for us to really evaluate ourselves and our minds.
Yeah, why do you do what you do?
Yeah.
What's the difference between serving Krishna and doing whatever we want and calling it devotional service?
Very powerful point, Marge. Thank you. Wow. Jagdish Prabhu, please go ahead. Prabhu, can you mute yourself? Thank you.
Hare Krishna Maharaj, all glories to Srila Prabhupada. I just want to ask you a question. I'm chanting 16 rounds, but I'm missing words. I don't know whether I'm concentrating. Sometimes it's taking me longer to do, sometimes it's taking me less time. Is that a kind of technique that I get better at it?
Yeah, there are certain techniques that you can apply that will help you with your concentration. Sachinanda Maharaj has written a whole book upon that called The Living Meaning, where he describes various ways that one can apply certain techniques to help to purify our chanting, to help increase the enthusiasm for our chanting. If you think that book is too big, it's a full book, then you can go to Mahatma. He has written a little book called Japa Affirmation. What was it? Affirmations. Japa Affirmations. These are short, right to the point. These are things that he encounters when he gives his talks on how to improve the quality of our japa. There's a lot of that available. There's a lot of that available.
If I'm chanting, but I'm not chanting correctly, am I causing offense?
Well, you mean not pronouncing the words correctly?
Or missing out words?
Well, it's clear. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So if you find yourself not able to do that, slow down and chant very carefully, listening to every syllable of the mantra. And that will help you to connect more with the sound in a clear way.
Okay, thank you.
And one of the easiest way is to listen to the first Hare in the mantra. So if you want to connect, listen to that first Hare. Don't miss that first Hare. And that will help you connect with the rest of the mantra. We chant, but we don't hear. That's the problem. Mine is somewhere else.
Thank you, Marge. Sri Devi, I'm going to take this question in the chat and I'll come back to you. I promise. I won't forget you. Marge, there's a question in by Sakshi. She says, may I please know what are the parameters to consider when assessing surrender to authority?
Eagerness. Says that devotee is very eager and happy to get an instruction. That means one has a mood of surrender. If you don't have that mood, then when you get the instruction, you may not feel so eager or so enthusiastic to execute it. You may do it just as a principle of obedience, but one who is actually enthusiastic to get instructions, to carry out instructions, then they're actually tasting the principle of surrender. They like to surrender, not that they have to surrender. They want to surrender. They understand that surrender is the means by which they can make progress in devotional service. They enjoy surrender. Sometimes they enjoy getting difficult instructions so they can surrender more and more.
That's really powerful, Marge. One likes to get difficult instructions. That's really powerful.
Yeah. I think Bhaktivinoda Thakur says, what was it? What does he say? What is my happiness in devotional service? And then he answers it. The difficulties I encounter in carrying out the instructions in devotional service. That is my happiness. Because that brings out your good qualities. And Krishna will never give you something beyond your ability to surrender. It may appear like that to you, but it's not. That's just an appearance. That's all.
Marge, can you repeat that again, please? The difficulties that the service brings out. Is that what you said, Marge?
Bhaktivinoda Thakur, in one of his Saranagati, says, what is my happiness in devotional life? He said, the difficulties I encounter in the execution of your devotional service. That's my happiness. You ready for that one? I mean,
it's just powerful, Marge. I had to make a note of it. I'm sorry. Sri Devi, you go right ahead, ma'am.
Guru Maharaj, this process, even for those of us who want to become devotees, who want to practice the process, is, as you said, quite challenging and there are difficulties. Is it possible for someone who is in their 90s to take up this process of Krishna conscious now at this stage in life?
why don't you say 100 instead of 90?
Well, my father is 90 years old. That's why I'm asking.
One of those cute little questions. It doesn't have any meaning to it.
I'm just, hoping against hope, I guess. I don't know, Guru Maharaj. I so much want to help him, but I guess the best thing I can do for him is to become a good devotee myself.
If a person is 90, what do we expect from them? They remain favorable and they can do whatever they can do, that's fine.
Even if they come to the dham, what about the influence of the dham on the person?
What about it?
The influence of the holy dham.
Yeah, what about it?
It can have a very powerful influence on people, isn't it, Guru Maharaj?
You just tell them, I know what you're talking about. So just tell them that, you're wasting your life out there doing nothing. You're gonna die like some kind of tomato in a abandoned farm yard. But just come and be happy, live with devotees, be surrounded by people who actually care about you. Who cares? Nobody cares about each other in the material world. Any kind of caring goes on as some kind of obligation. Or there may be some caring out there, but the caring doesn't really do benefit to the person. They come into a society, devotees actually care about devotees. That's a devotee. They actually care sincerely. They care about people in general, not only devotees.
Very nice question, though, Sri Devi. As much as it's one of those cute questions.
No, I understand her question. Yeah, at first I didn't understand it, but then I got the hidden meaning there, the Gupta meaning. But yeah, I think you should do whatever you can to bring that person to the Dham, yeah.
Thank you, Guru Maharaj.
Thank you for a nice question.
Don't allow them to say no. Bring them in.
Well, he's certainly agreeable to a visit. And I said, come with the mood that you want to surrender and become a devotee. You've tried everything now. So give up all that and just now focus on spiritual life. That's all that is left. So that's what I told him.
Well, you can use some candy-coated statements,
Okay.
Thank you, Sri Devi. Any other questions from devotees? Go ahead, Sri Devi. You want to say something?
I said, I'm going to call up Anasuya and ask for some help on this one. She has to do a lot of candy coating.
Hare Krishna, I have to start thinking.
All right. So I'll make it easy for you. That's my instruction. Do it. Now it's easy.
Yes, Maharaj. I will execute it. Challenge, right?
Not you, her.
Oh, Sri Devi, it's you, not me.
No, I'm telling her that's his instruction. She has to do it.
Yes, Guru Maharaj, your instructions are the only savior for me. So I will do as you say.
Yeah, do it. And if you're successful, hey, can save his life.
Thank you. Any other questions before we end the class? I'm just going to go down to make sure that I don't miss anybody. If you would like to ask a question, raise your hand. Please do jump in right now if possible. And if there isn't, Maharaj, would you like to end the class with a round of chanting?
Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Sivasari Gaur Bhaktivinoda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Rama Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Oh, Ram, Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Rama Hare Hare Rama Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Rama Hare Krishna Hare Rama Hare Hare Rama Hare Krishna 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 Hare Rama Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Rama Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Krishna Hare Rama Hare Hare Krishna Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Rama Hare Krishna 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 Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Krishna Hare Rama Hare Krishna Hare Rama Hare Krishna Hari 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 Ram. Hare Krishna, Hare Hari 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 Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare 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 Krishna. Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Krishna. Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare. Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaur Bhaktivinoda Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai.
Jai, thank you all for joining for today's class, and we hope all of us took something home that we can really meditate on. It was a very powerful class, and we thank Maharaj for giving his time. Vanchakraptibhyascha, Kripasindabevacha, Patitanam Pavanebhyo, Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha, Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. His Holiness Candramauli Swami Ki Jai.
Thank you very much for today's class.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Hare.
Thank you, Guru Maharaj. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Guru Maharaj. Hare Krishna.
Hare Bhadra, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Maharaj, Hare Krishna Guru Maharaj. Thank you very much. So beautiful and powerful class.
Thank you for being with us. Okay, so tomorrow we'll see you again.
Okay, Hare Krishna.
Same time, same place.
Definitely. Thank you so much.
Hare Krishna.
Same time, different place.
Yes, same time, different place. That's right, Maharaj. I forgot about that. Yes, that's right.
For you, it's same time, same place.
Only Guru Maharaj, you can do that.
Yes.
I can't do it.
Paramahansa Parivrajakacarya. Jai Gurudev.
Yep.
Now I'm traveling to one neighborhood to another.
Wow.
So I left Mayapur on 27th. Got to Calcutta Temple for a 3:30 flight. The flight was 4 hours delayed.
Hare Krishna.
Got to my destination at 11:30 at night. I had to get up and leave at 7:30 the next morning for a flight from Delhi to London. We did that. And then I spent one day in London. And then, what was it? Yesterday I flew from London to Croatia. So we did three flights in 4 days.
Hare Krishna. Maharaj, you must be very exhausted.
Don't remind me.
Oh, sorry, Maharaj. Sorry, Maharaj. I won't. My mouth is zipped.
Guru Maharaj, you are transcendental, completely so.
Completely.
Transcendental means teeth that are big teeth. Transcendental.
That's
Not
not
transcendental, Guru Maharaj. That's not the one I mean.
He's
So
going to keep tossing it.
these teeth that are transported from a different place, they're called transcendental.
Wow.
Okay.
Maharaj, I hope you get some rest, Maharaj.
yes. Praying for you. Take some rest, Guru Maharaj.
Yes.
The idea was to let you know that if you travel, it's fun. It wasn't a negative thing I was talking about. I was talking about all the excitement that you have when you travel.
It did sound exciting, Maharaj.
There's a lot of excitement. Like yesterday, came into the airport and I had 80 kgs worth of luggage.
Mhm.
That means 2 bags of 32 each,
Mhm.
64, and another bag of 16. So 80 kgs of luggage. So I'm thinking, how am I going to pick it up off the belt? You know, I'm all alone. And so I go get my trolley, and some lady comes running over to me. She helps me with the trolley. She says, "Can I help you with the bags?" And then she starts telling me that she's very strong. She's smaller than me in size. And I said, "Well, you don't look like you could do it." She said, "No, trust me." So Krishna sends people, and she lifted those bags like, you pick up a piece of paper, It was like she was,
Wow.
Wow.
and she was so happy. I gave her a card, told her about Hare Krishna, invited her to the temple. So it was an opportunity to you meet people. You never know when you're going to meet. And if I always dress in my clothes, my devotional clothes,
Yes.
Mm.
traveling in regular clothes.
Nice.
And that way people know who you are.
Mm,
And
true.
some people will find it, and nice, and others will run the other way.
True.
I'm glad Krishna arranged for someone to come help you, Marge, with the bags, though they are heavy bags.
Yeah.
He was so enthusiastic to do it. I
Nice.
couldn't believe it.
Mm.
I remember the same thing happened when you arrived at Kolkata airport, Guru Maharaj. There was this young man who came with a trolley and who was helping you with the bags. And he also came out of nowhere saying, please, can I help you, Maharaj? Remember?
It's Krishna. Krishna
Right,
sent,
right.
but the real reason they send is so he can preach to them.
Mm,
Candidates for devotional service.
mm.
Mm.
Thank you, Marge. That's such a nice reminder to all of us.
Yeah, it was like we were in the airport waiting for our flight, and I was sitting there with Shiva Ram Maharaj and about 25 of his followers. We're all sitting together, and there was one open seat in the midst of all of us, and one gentleman, he comes and he sits right in the middle of all of us.
Mm.
And he's just like sitting down. He doesn't, he and we tell him, well, these seats are for devote. Yeah, he doesn't want to get up. He's got this big handlebar mustache. He's not smart. So I thought, all right, Krishna send somebody. So I started preaching to him, and he was happy. He took I always carry mantra cards with me wherever I go.
Mm.
Mantra cards, and also I carry these cards that have websites on for Krishna.com and other things,
Mm.
so they can plug in. So he was happy. I gave him a card, started talking to him. So it's always an adventure when you travel.
Traveling is an adventure, right, Marge, as you said.
Mm.
I mean, it can be really difficult sometimes, but you never know. Sometimes it's a great opportunity to preach, or something unusual happens or something.
Mm.
Like we were in the airport, and Shiva Ram Maharaj told his devotees to do Harinam in the airport. So they
Mm.
started doing Harinam in the airport, and we used to do that all the time. And that was like a regular thing. And then after a half hour, they came back, and there was a policeman with them.
Uh-oh.
He's complaining, you guys can't do that, this is that, what are you, disturbing the peace and all that. And so Maharaj preached to him. Two other people came. And he said, yeah, we're singing the names of God, and nobody's getting disturbed. But we're disturbed just by being here, because look, you can see all of these ladies are not properly dressed here. That's disturbing to us. He said that. And I mean, the guys were listening, because Maharaj is powerful. He's very powerful when he speaks. We used to do that all the time. And then but this police officer, he was head of security, he wouldn't listen to anything. So Maharaj told two of the ladies to go to the head of the airport and complain about the police officer. So they did.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, this was just a couple of days ago. So it's fun, being traveling. You never know what's gonna happen.
That was exciting, Guru Maharaj.
That is full of excitement, Maharaj.
The ladies came back, and the airport authorities were sympathetic, but they said that police officer is the head of security, and we don't want we can't interfere with the security. So they were nice, but they didn't do anything. So anyway.
Something or the oh wow. Adventure is the right word, Marge. Transcendental adventure.
Yes.
Maharaj was saying, this is your religion, and we're practicing it. We're malechas, and we're practicing Hare Krishna, and this is your religion, and you're against it.
Oh, dear.
Oh my gosh.
Said that he said we're malicious, but
Wow.
good. A lot of fun. Then Maharaj saw some Buddhists over there, so he told one of his disciples to go over there and defeat the Buddhists.
Wow.
Oh my gosh.
So he went over, and he was over there, and he was talking to this group of Buddhists, and he asked them, "What do you believe in?" So the one Buddhist said, "Well, we believe in Nippon." And then he asked them, "What is Nippon?" And they couldn't answer. They didn't know. They said, "We don't know."
Oh, dear.
And so that didn't get very far. So finally he came back and said the head Buddhist told all of the other followers not to speak to us anymore.
Oh,
yeah.
Maharaj, you can write a book on all these adventures, Maharaj.
Actually, yeah, right.
Then there was a Mayavadi walking along. We could see him, and Maharaj said, "There's a Mayavadi, get him." It was obvious he was a Mayavadi. So, yeah, well, that's Shivaram Maharaj. I'm not like that so much.
Yeah, Shivaram Swami is powerful. I mean, he's like, go get her, just go get them. He's
Yeah.
powerful.
He's deep in Krishna consciousness.
Wow.
I was just training his disciples.
That is going to very fast, quickly.
Mhm.
Good training.
Mhm.
Thank you so much, Maharaj, for the wonderful nectar. That more nectar.
I mean, it's a physical hardship to travel, no doubt, but there's always something you learn, something you experience. Like when I first got into the airport, I was just there by myself. And one man comes up to me and he starts saying, "Oh yeah, I'm a devotee too." I said, "Well, I'm Kim from Mayapur." He said, "Yeah, Mayapur." I said, "Did you go to the festival?" He said, "No, I had so many work to do. I couldn't go to the festival." So we're talking. Then finally he said, "Can I take a picture with you?" So he had his colleague, some Mataji there. So I took pictures with the guy and he was happy. So know where you're going to meet. India is really an adventure.
All kinds of characters, Maharaj, huh?
In the West, it's different. The adventures are different there.
Yes, very different here.
But there are also some interesting things that happen. The people you meet sometimes are interesting.
Wow. So nice to hear these drops
Hot.
of pastimes. Yeah, it's so nice. So inspiring.
They are.
And you can see some people are really happy to see you because you're dressed like that. They're smiling, they're friendly, they want to help out. And others, you can tell they don't even look at you.
Mm.
But that's okay. But we should always dress in our devotional clothes.
Mm.
We can gives us great opportunities to send a message, you know.
True.
Very important point, Maharaj. Yeah.
Even Tilak helps, Guru Maharaj. So
Oh.
many times you see people coming and saying Hare Krishna to you, just wearing a tilak,
Yeah. When we were coming back from, we were traveling from Calcutta to Delhi, more than half the plane were devotees.
Wow.
Everywhere.
Yeah, the power of tilak does help. Sukhabaha, I agree with that.
Devotees in the old days, wherever they used to go, any airport, any facility, even on the plane. One time they did Harinama on the plane. They were singing and dancing on the plane, and the
That
pilot the pilot pulled back and said, "It's dangerous. You're shaking the plane." So we had to stop there.
I can imagine an outside view of the plane, March, just moving because the voice went dancing inside.
The plane was, floating on the holy name.
That's what I was thinking as well, that it must be going high with the holy name, transcending.
Yeah,
Wow.
the instruments didn't work anymore.
So, March, you're back in Croatia now for some time?
I came yesterday.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm here for a little while.
And then you start your Western travels again, right?
Suzanne, I'm coming to Budapest on the 19th.
Jai Maharaj, thank you very much for your association. Hare
21st,
Krishna.
the 21st is a kirtan program at Budapest Temple the whole day.
Yeah,
21st of April.
Radha Vinodini Mataji organizing it. Yeah. Radha Vinodini Mataji is organizing that.
Yeah.
Actually, yeah. She told me about, and it's gonna be transcendental.
Yeah. 19th, 20th, 21st, 3 days.
Right. We're so happy to have you. We can't wait to serve you somehow.
Maybe Ramar is going to be there at the time also.
Right.
Double mercy, Mataji.
Mercy comes in different ways.
Now, when do you start your US travels?
Sadhu Sangha.
May. Okay. End of May. Okay.
Yeah. Sadhu Sangha. Yeah. Different places. Schedule's not so filled in yet, but
Oh, good. So I have my space to reserve. I'm going to be
Go
greedy.
for it now and see what the
I'm going to be greedy. Yes, I was going to say, if it's not filled up, I'll put in my reservation with Maharaj.
well, I have to leave. Toronto Rath Yatra is on the weekend of the 14th and 15th of
July.
After that, I'm going to be going to London for the Rath.
Okay. So I have the whole month of June to squeeze in. Okay, Marge, I will contact you, Marge. I have to be greedy.
Quick, but you have to organize a kirtan program, not just there and speaking to a few people who fall asleep.
Okay, Marge, I will figure some because we have a kirtan program. We have one next month on April 27th, is the spring kirtan, and then we have one for Adivas, which is the day before Rath Yatra on August 9th.
That I can't make.
Yeah. And I'm gonna try much. It might be a challenge to pull off a third one in the summer because June is so packed. There's so many Rath Yatras. That was the reason why we had to push ours to August, because all the temples every weekend there's some Rath Yatra happening. It's like completely packed in June.
I might be able to come for one day to do some preaching and do some program.
Okay, we can do that, March. Yeah, we can do that.
Figure out one day, like
Yeah.
or something.
Yeah, June is like so packed. June and July this year, for some reason, is really packed. In fact, some temples actually double packed Rath Yatras, like that. There are two temples in New Jersey having Rath Yatra on the same day. It's that packed. It's like so packed.
Wow.
In New York, Rath Yatra is on the 8th of.
Yes, March, June 8th.
Yeah. That's a big one. Everyone goes for that one.
Yes, yes, everyone goes for that. Yes. But I'll contact you, Marge, at least for a day's program that we can do. That would be great.
Yeah, we'll try for June 31st.
June 30th. I can't. Marge, you just he
was testing me. He was
Oh dear.
he was testing me big time. I said, no, wait, 30.
Roger was sharp. She picked it up soon as I said it. Well, we can do it on September 31st then.
That's that's only trip, and
Oh,
you're back with you in Europe by that time.
Maybe how about February 30th? That's good.
No, we can do the 27th.
Yes. 30th is busy. 30th is busy, Guru Maharaj.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, this is transcendental, so it doesn't follow.
Oh my goodness. But I'll definitely I'll reach out to you, March, for a date, and for one day. That would be really, really nice.
Yeah, it'd be nice to come and see all of the.
Yes, Maharaj. Yes, for sure. I'll
Guru Maharaj, a direct journey to America from London, or is it straight?
I'm coming from Toronto to London for the Rath Yatra on the 21st.
No, before going to America, is there any chance?
No, this is all. I'll be in Croatia, Slovenia,
Mhm.
Hungary, Ireland, and then Italy.
Oh, yeah. So after Italy to retreat, you're going straight, yeah?
After Italy, we come back to Germany Germany is a powerful 5-day program in honor of Lord Nrsingadev.
Oh,
That's the new Simhachalam.
okay.
And if you want to really go to a program to honor Lord Nrsingadev, that's the place in the world.
Is it the time of Nrsingadev appearance day?
22nd of May is the day.
Okay.
But the rituals they do in the yajnas they do,
Mm.
not comparable, not anywhere in the world.
Mm.
Really powerful. Really. These are real Nrsingadev bhaktas here. They've
Okay.
been doing it for years and years and years. They're actually Nrsingadev devotees.
Mm. 22nd to 27th, is it?
22nd.
Okay.
But before then, there's a 4-day festival with kirtans and seminars. So it leads.
Okay.
Mhm.
Thank you, Guru Maharaj. I'll keep it in mind.
Yeah, you might be able to come.
I'll try.
Yeah, inquire and check and do a little research and see. There's one day is just all kirtan, and there's seminars. I think Satyananda Maharaj will be there, Krishna Kshetra Maharaj will be there, probably maybe even Bhakti Vai Baba Maharaj will come.
Okay. That'll be amazing. Thank you, Guru Maharaj.
Okay, so we'll say goodbye.
Thank you, Maharaj. Srila Prabhupada ki. And so Candramauli Swami ki jai. Hari Hari Bol.
Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Maharaj.
Haribo.
Hare Krishna, Guru Maharaj. Thank you, Anastasia. Thank you, Guru.
Hari Hari Bol.
Thank you, and Thank you, everyone.